If you are a Puerto Rico landlord and your tenant has not paid rent, the rules are different from any mainland state. Puerto Rico operates under a civil law framework, not common law. The 2020 Civil Code, Ley Numero 55-2020, controls residential lease relationships. The 15-day pay or quit notice is industry standard for Puerto Rico, but the framework is rooted in civil law tradition rather than statutory precision. The principle is good faith, buena fe, and reasonable notice. The 15 days give the tenant a reasonable opportunity to cure by paying the past due rent. Several things make Puerto Rico distinctive. First, the notice should be in the language of the lease. If the lease is in Spanish, the notice should be in Spanish. If the lease is in English, English is sufficient. Many Puerto Rico leases are bilingual. In that case, both languages should appear on the notice. Second, good faith principles control. A notice issued to circumvent rent control, retaliate against tenant complaints, or discriminate against a protected class can be voided regardless of facial compliance with the 15-day rule. Document your motivation carefully. Third, the eviction proceeding is called desahucio, not unlawful detainer or summary process. Desahucio actions are filed in the appropriate Puerto Rico court. The procedural rules differ from mainland practice. Specialized counsel is recommended for any contested eviction. Service rules require written notice. Personal delivery is the cleanest method. Certified mail with return receipt is also acceptable. Posting at the rental is permitted in some circumstances, but is less common in Puerto Rico practice. Common mistakes. First, treating Puerto Rico like a mainland state. Civil law principles apply differently from common law procedural rules. Second, ignoring the language of the lease. A Spanish-language lease should generally be accompanied by a Spanish-language notice. Third, relying on older guidance. The 2020 Civil Code overhauled landlord-tenant law in Puerto Rico. Pre-2020 resources may be outdated. After the 15-day notice expires and rent remains unpaid, the landlord may file a desahucio action. The proceeding is judicial. The tenant has procedural rights and the right to counsel. Eviction in Puerto Rico is generally slower than in fast mainland states. The form on this page generates a Puerto Rico-compliant 15-day pay or quit notice, free fillable PDF, built for Puerto Rico landlords.